So welcome to our Monday morning mindful meetup here. We are, as I mentioned earlier, going to be doing some chair-based movement and stretching to start off our week, as well as some progressive muscle relaxation as we progress through our session this morning. I'm going to back up into the chair so that y'all can see me from my toes to the top of my head. If you want to be in a more stable chair, you're welcome to grab something without wheels. We will be primarily seated. So if you're in an office chair, we shouldn't be rolling around too much, but if you want a little more sense of stability and you have a chair without wheels nearby, you might want to grab that. So I'm going to go ahead and back up. We're going to start from the top of our head and we'll work our way down for our movement. And then with our progressive muscle relaxation a little later on, we'll start from our toes and work our way up. So starting with some neck rolls here, just warming up through the neck. Hands might be on our thighs. If we're in a chair with armrests, they can be on the armrests. But we're just taking it slow, ear towards one shoulder, and then over to the other side. We can keep it low, nose and chin tracing along our collarbone and along the floor. It's comfortable through our neck today. You might take it up nose towards the ceiling, open the throat. Letting it roll around. Checking in with a stretch that feels really good. Maybe holding there for an extra breath. And then moving on to find another. Taking one more breath, we bring our chin back to center and neutral. So gaze is straight forward to begin. Roll our shoulders up by our ears and then down towards our hips. Get them settled in. And then we're turning our gaze over one shoulder, looking to whatever's to that side, whether it might be a wall or maybe someone else in the office. And bring it back to center and over the other way. And then we're tick-tocking our head back and forth. Gentle movement. Once more on each side. Bringing it back to center. We're bringing it back to that shoulder roll. Bring it up by our ears and then down our back. Big shoulder rolls, slow movement. Really squeezing our shoulders together at the bottom. Finding deep breaths. And then we're reversing. Sometimes we forget to go forward as well. I, in particular, tend to always go backwards with my shoulder rolls, but see how different it might feel coming forward. Really separating your shoulder blades at the top, maybe an arch slightly through your upper back. And then maybe one at a time, going whichever direction feels better for you. We're all a little different. We all have different mornings, different weekends. Find what feels good through your shoulders. And then bringing the shoulders down, we're bringing it into our arms and our wrists, starting to roll at our wrists one way, and then the other, finding some mindful movement here. We can keep it slow, noticing maybe our wrists or our joints might pop a little this morning, getting some synovial fluid moving around. That's okay, unless it hurts. If it hurts, try not to do that same movement again. Bringing the hands back down and out to our knees. We're going to find a few cat-cows. You can stay as you are. I'm going to turn to the side a little so you can see my back better. We're going to be up nice and tall, and then we're going to inhale, press our chest forward, seated cow. Maybe lengthen the gaze up towards where the wall and the ceiling meet in front of us. And then we're finding our cat, rounding the opposite way through our back. Separate our shoulder blades, almost reaching away from our hands. Inhale, we press it forward and through. Open the chest. Once again, we can go at our own pace with our breath here. Maybe one stretch or the other feels a little better this morning. We might hold there for an extra breath, or we can keep it moving. Warming up our spine, getting it ready for the day. Last time, finding our cat, separate the shoulder blades, arch in the back. Bring it back to center, feet planted flat on the floor, nice and sturdy. We're gonna find a gentle twist. As we exhale, our right hand comes to the outside of our left knee. Our opposite hand might be on an armrest or on the back of our chair seat, depending on what kind of chair you're in. We're lengthening up tall through our spine. And then as we exhale, we gently twist. Our gaze might be to the side, or we can twist through our neck as well, turning towards the back of the chair, gaze over our shoulder. Exhale, gently come back to center. Find the other side, opposite hand over our knee. Our other hand can be on our armrest or on the back of the chair seat. Start to lengthen the spine up. Exhale and twist slowly. Gaze to the side or gaze over our back shoulder, twisting through our neck. Exhale, bring it back around one more time on each side here. Exhale as we twist, lengthen up through the crown of our head. Slowly turn the gaze around. Bring it back to center. Last time on this side, cross the hand over the knee. Lengthen through the spine, twist through the neck as well if you like. Turn your gaze towards the back shoulder. Bring it back to center. Roll the shoulders, maybe sink it back down, moving into our legs. We're pulling one leg in towards our chest. So a seated version of a march you might have done before in a mindful meetup or in one of our other sessions. We can lightly grasp in front of the knee, or if that's not comfortable for our knees today, we can grasp behind the thigh. We can come really close into the chest, or we can keep the knee a little further away. Maybe you are in the office and you have your shoes on, that's okay. You'll see I'm barefoot this morning. My preferred shoe option is no shoes. Find a couple more breaths here, checking in with your glutes a little, see if you can find that stretch as you bring the knee in, engaging your hip flexors, using them to pull it in. And checking in, maybe your seat's squeaking or moving around a little as you do this. Just noticing your body and the environment around you. Once more on each side. Bringing it back down and moving into some movement through our calves. We're raising up onto our tiptoes and then back down. We're standing when we do this, more of a calf raise. We might only raise to the ball of our feet. If we're comfortable seated, we might raise all the way to our tiptoes and then all the way back down. Checking in how that feels in our shoes or our bare feet, engaging those calves, really squeezing them at the top and letting it rest back down, heels on the floor. Moving through our ankles. And letting our heels drift back to the floor. Finding our hands once again under our thigh for a little support. We're in front of our knee. We're going to roll at our ankles one way. And then the other, keeping it slow, big circles or small circles. Finding that movement, warming up our joints. And letting this leg drift down and finding the other side. Whichever way is comfortable for you, to let yourself have enough room to bring the foot off of the floor, giving yourself room to roll at the ankle and move the other way. Bringing this foot back down. Feet flat on the floor. We can come closer to the edge of our chair if we like, or if we want a little more support for progressive muscle relaxation, we can scoot further back. We're starting from our toes and working our way back up to the top of our head this time. So if you've done any progressive muscle relaxation before, it's a great technique to relieve a little bit of stress. It's been shown to be helpful if you are having trouble falling asleep at night, helping you get into some sleep, but also just to be mindful and aware of your body, how your muscles and joints are feeling. So we're going to start from our feet, and our goal is that we tense and squeeze the muscles as we inhale and we exhale, relax. So with our next inhale, we squeeze, really dig our toes into the floor. Exhale, we relax. Our eyes can be open or closed. As we inhale, tense through our feet, squeeze the toes into the bottoms of our shoes or the floor. Exhale, relax. Once more. Inhale, squeeze it in, hold at the top. Exhale, relax. Moving to our calves. As we inhale, we squeeze our calves. Our heels might pick up off the floor. Engage through the backs of our calves. Exhale, relax. 2 more. Find your own breath. Last time. Moving into the muscles along the front side of our shins, something we don't do maybe as often. We pick our toes up off the floor, lengthen our toes up towards your shins. Exhale, relax. Squeezing the muscles from your knees down to your ankles, toes lift up off the floor. Exhale, relax. One more time. Moving into our hamstrings, squeezing, tensing the muscles along the backs of our thighs. Exhale, relax. Anyone else was looking at us, they probably wouldn't even realize that we were moving, but we're active, being conscious, that mind-muscle connection. Squeeze our hamstrings. Exhale, relax. Last time. Moving into our quads, squeezing our quads, tensing them. If our hands are on our thighs, we can even feel that connection. Exhaling, letting them relax. 2 more breaths. Finding our glutes, the backs of our body here, squeezing our glutes. Exhale, relax. Inhale, we squeeze, tense our muscles. Exhale, let them release. Moving into our backs, our back of our shoulders. Squeeze the muscles along our spine, maybe draw our shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. 2 more breaths. Finding our shoulders once again, but this time we're moving our shoulders up as we inhale. Squeeze them by our ears, elevate the shoulder blades. Exhale, release. Inhale up and squeeze. Actively release with the exhale. Letting the tension go one more time. Moving into our hands and our arms. We're squeezing our hands up by our shoulders, contract our biceps, squeeze it tight. Exhale, release, hands by our sides. 2 more times. Finding the backs of our arms, our hands sneaking down by our chair sides. Exhale, we straighten our arms, squeeze our triceps, the backs of our upper arms here. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze, tense our muscles. Exhale, release. Last time. Binding our hands, inhale, squeeze it in, make a fist. Exhale, release. Acknowledging what we feel through our hands. Maybe we can feel our fingernails digging in, or maybe we're pressing the palms of our or pads of our fingertips to our palms. Exhale, release. Last time, squeeze it in, tense it in. Exhale, release. Let the hands once again rest on our thighs or our chair armrest. And then we're moving up into our face. So we're squeezing our face muscles, making a funny face. Exhale, release. 2 more times, squeezing our lips tight, squeezing our eyes shut. Exhale, release. Last time. So we release with our eyes closed, our gaze soft. We're scanning through our body. What do we feel? Do our muscles feel any looser? Or maybe we tightened one body area up and then never really let it go. With our next exhale, acknowledge that. Release that tension. Let it drift away. The crown of our head lengthening up towards the ceiling. Finding support with our back along the back of the chair. Or maybe we're sitting a little further forward, engaging our core muscles and our spinal muscles a little more. Noticing how our shoes and the floor feel beneath our feet. Noticing the connection of our hands on our thighs or our chair. And letting those thoughts drift away. Focusing in on our breath. Drawing the air in for a count of 5. Holding at the top. Letting our breath swirl in our heart center. And exhale out for a count of 5. Following our rhythm. Finding our focus on those counts, on our breath. Any other thoughts intrude, or maybe we're in a busier section and someone else walks by. Acknowledge that. And then let it go. Bring the awareness back to our breath. Taking a few more deep, even breaths. Inhaling for a count of 5. Holding at the top. Exhale for a count of 5. With our next breath, letting that count go and release. Finding our natural, even breath again. And starting to bring our awareness back to our surroundings. First, what do we feel in our bodies? Do we feel the chair underneath our thighs? What do we feel under our hands? Is it rough or smooth? Soft or hard? Cold or hot? And expand our awareness to what we hear. Do we hear birds chirping? Maybe others talking in an office nearby. Maybe we're in a very quiet room and we don't hear much other than the sound of our breath. With our next inhale, we draw in deeply through our nose and find what we smell. Maybe someone's making coffee. Maybe we smell our breakfast that's ready for us in a minute. Maybe we have a nice neutral environment this morning. And we start to blink our eyes. Finding our gaze, maybe it stays low to begin with. Starting to softly bring that awareness back. What do we see around us? Maybe we look around, find a color we like in our environment. Focus on what that color means to us. Maybe it's the purple walls. Maybe it's yellow books expressing happiness. Maybe it's the fall colors of the leaves outside our window. Keeping our eyes open as we take another few blinks. Deep, even breath. Maybe we roll our shoulders again, bring movement back into our fingertips or our toes, letting them wiggle. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you for lending me some of your attention for this morning. I hope y'all have a marvelous Monday. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to put it in the chat box or unmute yourself. And I hope you have a great rest of your week.